Join Sean and Brad as they talk about sports and share a beer. From the east coast of Canada to the west coast of the United States. Over to you, boys.
Hey everybody, this is my good friend over here, Korey Tynes. I was talking about we're going to have a little powwow here coming up, and he's been so gracious to sacrifice some of his time on a school night to come on out here. How you doing, man?
Not bad, Sean. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Oh, buddy, I am right now I'm getting ticked. I'm looking over the scoreboard. It's like, I think 19-19 right now. I'm like, oh, come on, Raptors.
Yeah, you got to try to pull it out.
I can't believe this. I can't believe we're in a dogfight right now. I just can't believe this.
I know. The Celtics are showing them a little something that, especially when you got those top teams in the East, both down 2-0 in the series.
Buddy, were you shocked? Okay, so I don't know how much have you been watching, because I know you're a hardworking man, right? So I mean, for me, I get a lot of sports, the sports net, or on TSN. You know, just watching my playbacks. I got satellite radio in the car, and of course, baseball in 30 minutes, my new thing. You know, so so I don't know if you've been watching any of it, but the Raptors games, I tend to watch usually the whole thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Got to cheer for the Canadian teams, of course. Keep an eye on them, but yeah, I mean those games they've been good to watch. It's you know, not the endings how you've been hoping. I mean, I've seen how the Bucks and the Miami series has been going. I mean, I guess I'm a little surprised. Jimmy Butler over there.
Jimmy Buckets.
Yep, getting her done down there in Miami. But yeah, I was surprised about that with the Greek Freak. You know what I mean? Like I was a little shocked how that game ended last night. You know,
well, they were down. They were down in the first quarter. I remember that, and they must have made a vicious comeback, because I was just going, they're like 10 points down. This looks like another replay of whatever. So you know, I shut it off. Figured I'll pick up the score later. Right? I see it, and it was like a 2-point game. I'm like, what happened? So.
Well, it was when it went down to the wire, you know, it was down to that last second shot there for Butler, and then they called the foul on Giannis, and it was, I don't know, man. From my opinion, I was like, come on, man, really? That's the foul they're calling to end the game, and then Butler's, you know, gets 2 shots from the foul line to end the game. So anyway.
Well, it was kind of like the same with the last little bit moments there in that Raptors-Celtics game in Game 2, where Marcus Smart steps out of bounds.
Yep.
Pretty clear. But when Pascal Siakam had it in the last minute there, and just the tip of his heel was out of bounds, and all I'm thinking is like these courts must be just a little smaller maybe than the regular, because these are mistakes you don't make. You know.
I know. It's stuff that's happening. A lot of pressure, I think. You know, when you look at the Raptors, the team they had last year, you know, they always had Kawhi as that go-to guy, and then Lowry. So now a lot of guys got to pick up the slack, and you know, I think it's a little bit of pressure on these guys. You can see that, but you know, we'll see how the rest of the series goes, because I mean they're relying on Siakam a lot this time.
They are. Their bench is much more significant than Boston's, but. I don't know. Kemba Walker seems to be the difference maker, and he's just showed up in the Game 2 in the fourth quarter. Just a killer. Marcus Smart was like Michael Jordan all of a sudden. And I have to admit to you, Korey, I was shook, man. I was shook when I saw Boston take out Philadelphia in 4. I was like, oh.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, Boston's strong. They're strong. So it's, you know, like the season wasn't bad. I mean, I'm surprised how things are going in the playoffs, and especially – you know, I'm sure the Celtics fans are loving it. I think I'm a little surprised, same as you are. But, you know, I guess Boston fans are happy with what they're getting from Kemba Walker this year.
Yeah. Just basically to go back with our last week's podcast there, we were talking about the historic event that happened there with NBA, WNBA, MLB, NHL, everybody just taking those 3 days, NBA 4, to really have a peaceful boycott, to bring some awareness into everything there. And then, like, I'm not going to go and rehash everything that I said, but there's a lot of things being thrown around that these players are privileged. I've seen the memes actually still coming out with LeBron James crying, saying we're not playing, and then Archie Bunker below, no one cares, and for you young ones who don't know who Archie Bunker is, I don't know, man. That was 70s humor. So,
yeah.
Kind of a bigoted character, So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's you see a lot of these guys talking, the athletes, and representing the different leagues, and I think some of the guys have done a really good job. You see guys, in hockey, and they talk about it, and the things that are going on it's bigger than the sport. They want to stand together in unity, and I think even though you're going from different leagues, professional athletes are professional athletes, and it's a brotherhood. And I shouldn't just say brotherhood, sisterhood too. It's a family, because you include the WNBA and a lot of athletes. So I think they're all representing each other when they decide that, hey, we're gonna take a stand and decide that we're not going to play tonight. We're not going to play for a couple of days, to bring awareness to something that might affect other players more than some. But I think it's important. And some people say these guys should give up their privilege of quit their job, and maybe they should do more. But it's the notoriety that they receive by being in the limelight that if they decide they want to take a stand, that's bringing out more attention. Somebody might not have 3 million followers if they're just playing at the YMCA versus playing in the Staples Center.
Yeah, and especially with like everything that you're seeing in the world right now, right? For that to happen, it's the most peaceful form of protest that I could think of. And just to question these individuals as to why they did that is almost like a slap in the face, because it's just like, yeah, you make millions of dollars to entertain me, but it's like, listen, this is something bigger. This is something bigger than the sport. It's something that needs to be addressed. And I was really impressed with Barack Obama actually taking time to come out there and talk to the NBA players over there.
Yeah.
And here they're back in there, and you and I, we both know what it's like to isolate or anything like that, just due to our jobs. But for these guys to be doing that now as well, I mean, yeah, it is their job, and yeah, they're paid millions of dollars, but it's still messing with your mind. I mean, you're living your life in there, and they're doing this while everything is around them is happening. So to me, I had no problem with it. I didn't.
Well, of course, people are, they seem to be a little put off, because it's an inconvenience. You don't get to watch the sport that you like, but it's like you said, these guys are in a bubble, so they're really limited in what they can do. Maybe somebody might want to take part in a protest. They might want to do something as the individual, but because they're in isolation in the bubble because of the professional sports they're playing, if the only thing that they can do is say, hey, we're gonna boycott the game tonight, and really they say boycott, but they're not really boycotting, because the league, they weren't boycotting the league.
No.
They weren't boycotting the games to say they're just saying, hey, we just want to do something that shows people, or we want to do our part. We want to keep the conversation going. We want people to talk about this and not just have it fall to the wayside. So I think that what they did is, in my opinion only, you know what I mean? Like, I commend these guys for doing what they're doing, and that goes across all sports, for wanting to, bring attention to something that is really important. Obviously as a visible minority, it's important to me, and stuff I think about for my kids and family and things like that. So glad that it's happening.
Yeah. I mean, me as well. I mean, I'm a visible minority. One day I'm going to bust out the old pictures to show you what I looked like beforehand, as a young teenager to now. But I mean, growing up, I'm part white, I'm part East Indian, part Fijian. And I remember my dad would coach the softball team. I remember going to sporting events with my dad and always being asked, like, is that your real dad? You know, my dad was white.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's my real dad. Oh, no, you must be adopted. You must be craziness. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I know honestly at that time, people just weren't really, they were ignorant about things. You know what I mean? It wasn't meant to be hurtful, even though it was. And to me, it's like, I think it's almost hurtful to be disparaging of what they did, and that includes the NHL as well. As a matter of fact, I was very impressed with the NHL, even though originally they did not go out. They went the next night, and then they actually had like a little conversation, a little powwow in front of everybody talking about it. And I love that they had was it Brett Reeves and Nazem Kadri right in the front there talking, and I was proud of those boys talking, and I was proud of every single one of those NHL players standing behind them there and just being there to support them.
That's the good thing to see is Ryan Reeves has been a big proponent of what's been going on in the NHL, and the guys that stood up there with him, like you said, Nazem Kadri. Some of the guys that aren't there anymore, Matt Dumba's Filipino background.
Evander Kane.
Vander Kane for sure. One of the guys there that plays for Dallas, Jason Dickinson, Caucasian, when you look at him, white guy, but he's got color in his family like his father. So, not everybody that has ties to people of color in their family, you don't see it at face value, but these are all important things for them. So when they're standing up to say, hey, look, we're supporting each other, Ryan Reeves, when the game starts, yeah, man, we're battling it out. And this guy's laying on the hits and he's playing physical, which is great. But he said, hey, look, these guys are here supporting me, supporting the cause. And it's that brotherhood. So, I think there's that mutual respect between the professional athletes in terms of supporting one another. Hey, look, when the puck drops, the ball, as soon as we start the game, hey, we're warriors, we're going to battle it out. But at the end of the game, in real life, we're, it is a brotherhood and it's closest and we're all supporting each other. And I think that's a big part of it, especially, I'm a big hockey fan, so it's good to see. I see a lot of analysts that talk about, your demographics as you go through different, sports leagues. And, you don't have as many visible minorities in the NHL, but the NHL has taken a big stand, in Black Lives Matter. So, those are, it's important that people are, taking the time to support one another and support what's going on in the world. I
agree. And the funny thing is, like, I'm glad you said that about the NHL, because I do remember, like, Grant Fuhr being, like, I was, a Gretzky fan, so I was, of course, watching Gretzky win his cups back when I was a young kid, and seeing Grant Fuhr in the net was mind-boggling because, like, I remember growing up, and so I'm going to date myself here, right? But, like, I wanted to be Superman. You can't be Superman. He's white. I wanted to be the $6 million man. He can't be the $6 million man. He's white.
Mm-hmm.
But the day I saw Grant Fuhr, and the day you saw Jordan, and the day you saw Supermen just doing stuff like that, it's just like, well, you can't be that. Nah, I'm not saying that because everybody wants to be Jordan. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to be Jordan.
Of course.
And here's the beautiful part about it, man, is that, as I also alluded to this beforehand as well, as sports fans, you cheer for that team color. It doesn't matter what the color of any one of those players are. I honestly think that sports is one of the best things for race relations. And I know that there's some pioneers that had to go through some hell to get us to that point. But we have moved, and I'm glad that they brought the spotlight there because we can always move further. We can always move further.
Definitely. And I think that's, it's a great way to bridge the gap, for people, because it's a melting pot of people from all diverse cultures and all over, professional sports. You look at the NBA, there's all walks of life, different backgrounds, people coming in. NFL for sure, again, you're getting people from all across, not just the United States that are playing in the NFL. Then you add NHL, and you're not just getting people from North America, you're getting people from all over the world. So everybody brings their culture and whatnot. And, again, it's good to see as people come together, because they really start to shed that the blinders in terms of looking at someone. What's the first thing you see? The color of their skin. No, man, they're that's my brother. Going to battle, and that's the thing. That's the good thing that we enjoy as members in the military, is that you don't look at someone in the color of their skin. You're looking at the uniform they're wearing, and that guy's on my team, and I know that they got my back. And that's the same thing these athletes are living, and that's that support. Again, we talk about that as just supporting one another. So seeing that is that gets us going in the right direction, and that's what people are looking for. They're just they're looking to don't judge a book, but we're all one. We're all one. Let's work together here.
I like that. So let's get off this serious topic here.
Yeah,
let's talk about some craziness here happening right now. So earlier on in my podcast, I believe it was episode 0 or episode 1, I remember my buddy Brad, my co-host, was telling me, Denver is a strong team. And I said, Denver, they're down 3 games. It's like they're playing Utah. They're not coming back from this.
Yeah.
I got to eat my words. Like, Jamal Murray went off crazy.
Yes, buddy.
Crazy. And
putting Canada on the map again.
I'm telling you. And
putting Canada on the map.
Oh, man. I'm eating my words right now. Now I'm a Denver believer. I don't know.
Yep.
Now, I still think the championship is coming through LA. I do.
This is the the big prediction. That's the thing. LA's strong this year. It's not like last year before everybody came together and came on LeBron's side. But I think LA's making a big push for it this year for sure.
Well, that's the thing, is like LA times 2.
Yeah.
Because the Clippers as well. It's like, what in the world?
Took a little bit for the Clippers to get going.
It did. It did. I think Paul George was having a little bit of problems in the bubble. I mean, as anybody would. I mean, that's a hard. Course. Yeah, exactly. So I think his mind is in it right now. So better watch out. And like we're saying, the Bucks going down to the Heat. Do you think the 76ers are kicking themselves right now? That they did not sign back Jimmy Butler? I'm there going, what's going on? That's a leader. You need that. You need that in your locker room.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Joel Embiid is not the man. I don't know.
No, and I think Jimmy's showing a little something that I think he's surprising a lot of people, and with what's going on, because I mean, the Bucks are so strong. The Bucks are so strong, and I think that most people probably would have picked the Bucks coming out of the East by far.
Well, that starting 5 is ridiculous. Starting 5 is ridiculous.
Yeah, you're not really you don't think there's too big of a contest anyway. You're gonna give everybody their due, and I mean the Raptors have shown a lot this year, having the big change. Losing Kawhi, but I mean the Raptors came out strong. So
I remember the Vegas odds coming out, and they were saying that the Raptors are going to make it to the second round and be punted out, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm hoping that Vegas is wrong on this right now. I mean, right now the numbers as it shows. And as I look over at the score, we're down by 4. I'm just there going, come on, man, come on. But I'm still very surprised, because to be able to come back with that success, to come out there, they might be a piece away. Who knows? Maybe it is Giannis coming over in the free agency. I don't know, but
we can hope. We can hope. I mean, as Canadians, we got to hope, because I mean, it would be phenomenal that if you could bring someone like Giannis over. But I mean, I think the Raptors, that's why Nick Nurse won Coach of the Year, because I mean, what he's been able to do with that team, those players, and really, to say it, I don't want to slag those guys, but not having a real marquee superstar like a lot of other teams, these guys do it by committee, and that's I think they're still the naysayers, because their naysayers were there last year, because it was really just Kawhi and Kyle. And, this year, Kawhi being gone, and, the Raptors, they're not going to repeat. They're Raptors. But then I think they shocked a lot of people. They shocked
They
a lot
have.
of people.
And even though like right now they're down by 4, right? But it's only the second quarter. We're still fine.
That's basketball,
Yeah,
surely.
that's exactly it. So I mean, Toronto could go on those famous runs there, and then that's it. You
Yeah.
know, we and you have to just climb back one game at a time.
Of course.
I'm just there. I'm hoping. Now, are you surprised with that Colorado Dallas series?
Oh, for sure. I'm watching that one. That was, especially when Colorado was down. Every game seems like an elimination game. They lose their goalie.
They lose their goalies.
Goalies plural. You know what I mean? Like you lose your number one, you lose your number two, and
Michael Hutchinson.
That's it. I saw a lot of the guys talking last night, and they were saying, Hutchinson shows up in the bubble, not even expecting probably to play a game, to dress, and here he is, and he's keeping their head above water, keeping them in this fight. So now
he's laughing right now. Trading from the Leafs, he's laughing. Eh?
Yeah. Well, and now you get Colorado again takes it to they're forcing Game 7. So now really momentum's on their side.
Oh, absolutely. You just
the pressure really is on Dallas to kind of keep it up. And now, I don't even know what you do with Nathan McKinnon because I mean, that's our hometown boy right here. So I mean, I'm hoping that whether he wins MVP, if he doesn't, whether he wins the Conn Smythe, I mean, right now, this guy's killing it. So
McKinnon now needs to be in the same breath as when you mentioned Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon. I mean,
for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yep. He's solidifying himself right now as, in one of the top players in the world for sure. And I think, we'll see how Colorado does. But, I mean, I think – I was interested in watching the game last night thinking, okay, so is Vegas going to pull away from Vancouver and go to the Western Conference Final? Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Dallas and Colorado? Who has the better chance to come out of there? I don't know. The goaltending is a question mark, but I mean, I'll tell you, it would be exciting to see Colorado go to the Western Conference Final with Vegas and actually pull it out.
But Vegas, I mean, right now, so was it, I forget his first name, Demko, the goaltender that ended up playing for
Thatcher
Vancouver?
Demko there
Thatcher
for
Demko.
Vancouver. Yep.
So first California-born native to start in a playoff game and to win a playoff game. I think Vancouver, because they're so young, they just don't know. They don't know any better. So, of course, they're going to bring it to you.
Amen.
And I'm cheering for Vancouver. It's the last Canadian team
left. Of course.
I'm hoping Philadelphia is done. I like to see the Islanders go past Philadelphia.
It's not looking good because Philadelphia is up 2-0 right now in the first.
Are they?
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy. I tell you what, maybe Claude Giroux and all the boys there woke up, eh? It's like, we got to beat
we'll
guys.
See. I mean, it's definitely interesting. I mean, Vancouver, like you said, cheering for Vancouver. I used to live in Vancouver, so they got a special place in my heart. And I think that they got the makeup, if everybody's starting to be healthy, if Markstrom can come back. But at the same time, Demko's playing well. I mean, they can get the momentum to push Vegas. And then when you go back to the East, I mean, Philadelphia, at the beginning of the season, I don't think people gave a lot of credit to Philadelphia to really be doing much. And the fact that to see them where they are now is I'll say I'm a bit shocked because I didn't know that they were going to come as strong as they did. I mean, the Islanders.
I was shocked. I was shocked after that first round because Montreal gave them a run for their money as far as I was concerned. Montreal did not lose that series. It's just that they they lost that series, but it's not that they didn't outplay in that series. Right. They looked like the better team, so it was
I'm sure Claude Julien not being there on the bench, played a part, you know what I mean? Like you lose your head coach and he has to leave. Mueller did a good job back there, but I think that, you add those things up and, it takes a toll. Because a lot of teams, they're losing some of their key players, and you can see the serious effect that's had on them. I mean, Tampa Bay's still doing it without Stamkos.
No Stamkos. Kucherov got injured, but right now, if Philadelphia can extend that, he's getting some extra time there. So you never know. He might just come on back in. I heard Stamkos might be coming back in here as well. It's hard to say, though. I have no idea.
I mean, those guys keep all that info close to the heart. They don't want to really talk too much about what's going on. I mean, last night, Landeskog got skate against the thigh there. So, is he going to be available for the next game, or is that going to keep him out? Who knows? The injuries are happening, and it's keeping these games interesting. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's been really good playoff hockey as far as I'm concerned. Considering there's nobody in the stands, it's like
for sure. I wasn't sure what was going to happen if we were going to have sports at all. Then it was okay. They're going to play in the bubble with no fans. It was like, oh, how's that going to go? But I mean, I like the fact that they throw some virtual fans in there for the NBA. You see guys going up there to, do a little something. But I think it's been good. I got to commend all the different leagues for putting it together. Baseball's a little bit different, but I think it's been great.
Have you seen though in the NBA though with the virtual fans in there?
Yeah.
See how Steph Curry, I saw Jalen Rose as fans. They're going, what is going on here?
I like how they do that. They actually superimpose someone's face.
Yeah.
You see guys like, oh. Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, how could I virtual reality be there, right? How can I be one of the fans in there, right? It's like,
It's awesome. I like it.
I do.
You don't get all those fans that are, the big reactions going on when things are happening. But, I think the sports have been good. Basketball's been good. Hockey's been good. Baseball's been good. Baseball's exciting.
Exciting. It's been difficult with baseball because of the travel that they're doing, right? And they're still pushing through, even though there's some players that have tested positive and they had to shut some games down. But having said that, NFL is right around the corner. They're doing the exact same thing as the MLB. And I know NFL is going to start. I know MLB is still going. But is it going to be just NHL and NBA actually have a championship this year? Like, that's what I'm getting worried about now.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I think that, if baseball's going, I can't see why they wouldn't play for a World Series, If you're going to start it, you may as well finish it. So, I mean, I guess we'll all see how things are going, but I would suspect that if the intention was, hey, we're going to play that shortened season, we're going to take it all the way to the end. We're going to have playoffs, and somebody's going to win the World Series at the end of this. So, because you'd hate to see them, even for baseball, it took them so long to really kind of get to that agreement of how many games they're going to play, how are the salaries going to work. They finally get to that point. They agree on things, and I guess if you end the season and don't move on for playoffs and no World Series,
it was just weird
lose more fans.
that the trade deadline's already on us, right? It's like we just started. But the Jays made some good moves, getting Tajon Walker, getting a few other pieces. We're in a good position to be in that because now it's we have the top 16 teams getting in. So on both sides, 16 teams on both sides, not 16 teams for one.
Hey, look, man. I'm wearing the Jays hat. I'm happy to see the Jays make some moves because they got some good core. Their youth is there. It's time to start building around those players. And hey, look, we don't expect them to be an overnight success, but hey, you start showing us what you're going to do, what you're going to build for the Jays in the future. Because I think some people, I know myself, over the years. You're pretty happy with the team, and then all of a sudden, surprise! Hey, we're gonna trade this guy. Hey, we don't need Kevin Pillar. Hey, we don't need Josh Donaldson. Hey, we don't. You know what I mean? And you're just like, whoa! You're blowing my team up.
It's like fire sale.
And you're just like, whoa! What is going on? So it's good to see. With the guys that Guerrero Jr., Bichette, like you know what I mean, like. You have some really core players that you can build this team around, and these are your flagship players now. And I'm really happy to see that, and I'm glad to see the Toronto's, making an effort to show the fans like, hey.
And that's not even playing in Toronto either. They're playing all their games in Buffalo at this moment. So,
Yep.
I mean, this is really cool, and some people are speculating that because they are playing in Buffalo, and so you had Guerrero come through the system there. You had Bichette come through the system there. So they're saying that maybe they're more comfortable playing there because they played there already so often. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, I think this will be, hopefully this is a one-off and it's only the one season. Like next year, things will get a little more back to normal and you'll have some games back in Toronto, but hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think we're all hoping that this is a one-off, this one season of NHL, NBA, that.
I'm just glad, though. I'm just glad because let me tell you something. There was no sports. Like I said, I was doing dishes, I was vacuuming, I was like a greatest husband ever. You know what I mean? And now
I watched a lot of replay games. I watched a lot of games that were, thank God to TSN and Sports Central, Sportsnet, that they were replaying games. There was ones I was finding, but you could only cozy up with Netflix and Crave and all those things for so long. Sports are, they're the crux right there.
You know what I got into? That Cobra Kai show.
Oh, I haven't watched that.
You haven't watched that? That is like Johnny Lawrence.
It's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, buddy. I mean, he is like this Cro-Magnon 80s guy still,
Perfect.
But like 50-something, almost 60.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it. I added it to my list on Netflix, so it's definitely on my list of things to watch for sure. So I plan to get there.
All right, we got another free fight night there. So like my co-host would say, Uncle Dana White, he's been doing us a solid throughout this whole entire pandemic there with all the fights, finding out ways in order to do it with no fans. But still, I think it's better sometimes with no fans because you can hear the corners going. And so we have Alistair Overeem and Saki getting into the main event there, and Ovince St. Preux coming back to fight there, light heavyweight. I didn't really have a look at the rest of the card there, but Overeem I'm always interested in because that's a heavy hitter. He's the man that took out Lesnar, took him out. So he's always going to be that special guy that I like watching because he's so amazing. What's your predictions on the Overeem fight?
Jeez, man, it's going to be tough, I think I'm probably siding more with, going in the direction you are because, that proven power. So it'll be interesting to see for sure.
He's just a monster, man. He's just a big old monster, man. I remember watching Lesnar and him, and I'm there going, dang, he's almost as big as Lesnar.
Which is hard to find.
That's right. It's like, what in the world? Okay, how come is it, right? You have young men or even men that are in their 30s that decide to all get together, have a little poker, have a few beers, watch some UFC, and for some strange reason, they think they become UFC fighters. I don't understand
every
that.
Time.
You know what I'm saying? Do you remember back 2007? Do you remember that? 2007. And one of our friends, actually both of them were our friends. We knew them both. I speak like there's past tense. This is just past tense as far as what had happened.
We still know them both. Yep.
We still know them both. But they decided to have a little wrestling match in the backyard. And I'm there going, this is a bad idea.
Yep.
Alcohol.
A few drinks. Yep. It was a UFC. Yep. Heavyweight title match.
Yeah, heavyweight title match. I think it was a Lesnar match as well. And all I remember is Big Old Ben being 250 at that moment.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just going to call him Buddy Boy because I haven't talked to him, so I don't want to mention his name because just in case,
Yep.
But he had to be giving up 60 pounds. And he's
sure.
It's okay. I'll get in there. No problems, And both of us are like, looking at each other like, this is a bad idea.
I think there was a few people on the patio in the backyard that decided to watch how that was gonna. Of course,
you're gonna watch. It's like this is gonna end up bad. It's gonna end up bad.
It went pretty much as we all thought it was gonna go. Yeah,
I don't even know what he was thinking.
Yeah, there was some limp noodle kind of
That's the
You
first time. I gotta
Yeah.
be honest. That's the first time in front of me that I've seen a standing guillotine delivered.
Yeah.
And somebody go limp because he was so proud he wasn't going to tap, and he
Yeah.
just
Not
went
gonna tap.
so
Not gonna
limp.
tap. You should just tap.
It's
No, I'm
like-
not gonna tap. You should tap.
And I remember hearing me and hearing you. He's out.
Yeah. He's out.
He's out.
Yeah. He's out.
And then big old Ben, after that, this is one of his buddies, just throws him and just discards him like he's trash. And I'm there going, oh my goodness. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
I did warn him. Yeah. He didn't want to tap. He didn't want to tap.
Korey, I don't know how many times people were like, how about you? Can I wrestle with you? Wrestle with you? It's like, no.
No, I'm good. I'm going to enjoy my beer and be an observer.
That's exactly
Yeah.
it. You know,
Take those front row
observer.
seats.
I don't even understand that. I'm sure there's other people that have other crazy stories like that, but that was still the first time I ever seen a standing guillotine. Somebody go out with a standing guillotine. I'm like,
And Big Ben was, I think he was doing a lot of the stuff on the side there. So
a lot of creatine. Lots of creatine. Lots of protein.
Let me show you some moves.
Well, that's the thing too, is that everybody back then, I know you've done some boxing. I've done Aikido and Krav Maga. Benny was doing some martial arts there too. So I mean, to me, it's like, you know, I don't know. Like if somebody says I practice some martial arts, I don't think, you know, especially if you're inebriated, it's the greatest idea to go, oh, really? Let's try.
Yeah. Let me show you what I got. Let me show you what I got. Yeah. It never really turns out the way most people want it to. Other than being on an episode of Ridiculousness, getting knocked out.
Getting knocked out. I felt so bad, man. I was just like, and then he gets up. He gets up after. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. I was getting worried because he was out cold. Like,
he was out. Yeah. Good sport about it. He was. He was. Like, I got what I asked for. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. You gave up 60 pounds, and this is what happens. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That was an exciting part of the party.
It was, you know, it was like, you know, before the UFC even started. So I was just like, this is great. This is great. I'm getting some poker. I'm getting a little bit of free fights here. And then
this is where the excitement is.
This is exactly it. I was very much entertained. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you, Ben. Thank you. Man. So, have you been thinking? What do you been thinking about? Have you seen any of the free fights that have been going on there? Like, it's just.
I haven't seen too many. I've been focusing more on, I'd say the primetime sports. So I've seen some of the highlights a little bit here and there, but I can't say I've seen a lot.
I mean, some of the names that have been coming out there to fight, like I said, you have Oven St. Preux, you got Alistair Overeem, Frankie Edgar. There's just been a whole bevy of people coming out to fight in these main events, and I'm like, you would pay, even a few years back, you'd pay to see these fights. So,
for sure.
You know, so I'm really happy, man. I'm really happy about that.
You gotta like that. They're definitely doing what they can to entertain the fans.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Dana White was one of the first ones to be doing it for sure. He was definitely one of the first ones to be like, hey, we're gonna get some fights out there. People are going to watch this. We're going to find a place to do it. So,
have you been watching
these guys?
You've been watching any WWE?
A little. I don't follow it as, you know, it's not like the old days.
Not like the old days.
The Rock come out and, you know, just lightning the guys, you know. It just doesn't have that same appeal.
All right. Because I know you are a bit of a wrestling fan, as I love wrestling as well. Okay.
Yeah.
In your opinion, what was the greatest wrestling heel turn? The greatest one.
The greatest wrestling heel turn.
Where a face just turned heel on a dime.
Oh, jeez. Wow. Man, I don't know.
All right, I'll let you think about that. I'm going to give you mine, and I'll let you think about that. For me, it was seeing Train say your prayers and eat your vitamins, ripping off the shirt there, okay? Old Hulk Hogan turned into Hollywood Hogan all of a sudden. And he came out, remember he already had the black beard going on?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, what's going on? What's going on?
Yep.
And then I was sold on the Hollywood Hogan. I thought, this is the greatest heel ever. To me, I was like, it was the greatest hero and just became the greatest heel. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. No, man, I have, like the stuff I just found the most entertaining stuff was definitely, The Rock when he started, when he came out. I mean, that's when I found that it got really like the entertainment. But I mean, some of the guys that were starting out, like, I don't know, like Mr. Perfect.
Oh.
You watch those guys back then, and I found that before The Rock was out, Mr. Perfect used to crack me up. Like, some of these guys.
The promos.
For sure. These guys
Do you
were more
remember that
entertained
promo?
before they ever stepped a foot in the ring.
Or he spat the gum. He spit the gum out and spat it in his hand.
Yeah, little Razor Ramon, let me flick the toothpick at you.
Gonna carve you up.
Yeah, hey man.
Something happened to the gold. Something's gonna happen to you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the true entertainers.
Man, The Rock to me is the best mic man I've ever heard. I mean, he was a great wrestler as well. But he wasn't always a great wrestler to start off. That's the funny thing. I mean, he was very good in sound, but he ended up coming into his own. But his mic skills, when he started that, it doesn't matter what your name is. I mean, he got under people's skin. And I'm like, oh, this guy is gold.
Oh, it was for sure. I think that, that he was someone that really turned the corner for that and really put the rubber stamp on entertainment, because he took the entertainment side of it, because he didn't need the best part of watching him was before he ever stepped foot in the ring. It was the lead up, the interviews, like that's what you're watching. And,
and that's,
me and the boys, we hung on to that stuff every week. It was like, oh man, I'm going to watch WWE because I want to see The Rock come out. And he may only talk for 5 minutes, but that's the best 5 minutes.
That's the best 5 minutes. Oh, exactly it, because he is just about to dress down somebody right now.
Oh man, unbelievable. And I know now you see him, and he's the highest paid actor in Hollywood.
The man transcended all boundaries.
He's in everything. He's in everything.
He just bought the XFL. He's I believe him and his family just have coronavirus, but they're just The Rock. He's going to be okay.
Yeah. They recovered from it.
He's going to give the rock bottom to that there, right? So.
Oh, man. And the thing is that, give kudos to the guy because, being born and raised here in Nova Scotia, the fact that his father, Rocky, grew up, lived here in Amherst in Nova Scotia, that's huge. That's tying a little bit to the Maritimes here. So, we'd love to see Dwayne Johnson kind of come down and maybe say hi to his roots down here in Nova Scotia at some point, But no, man, kudos to that guy, because I think he has, after you lose some of your Hollywood action stars like Stallone and Arnold, and, those guys, I think everybody was wondering who was going to carry the torch, the mantle of the next action hero. I'm pretty sure we all see who that is.
Oh yeah,
and it's not hard to identify the fact that Dwayne Johnson has grabbed the torch and run with it.
And he's like he's like similar but different in a lot of ways too. You know what I mean? Just because he has that, like he's just eloquent with all of his words. Yeah. But he'll also beat the crap out of you,
Well, the fact that I think you like him because his range, you know what I mean? Like, he can be that action hero if he wants to be the badass from the Fast and the Furious, but then if he wants to be, the funny guy, comedian that you just don't know what he's going to say, he's in Jumanji, or he's, Central Intelligence, like, I
love that movie.
Take your pick, man. This guy, the range, that's what gets me, is that he's not just the physical specimen. This guy is doing it as an actor. So
absolutely.
I tip my hat to that guy, man.
And let's face it, Hogan tried. He sure tried, but he really didn't. He really didn't break through like that, you know.
Nope.
No.
Some of those guys. That's why they spent their careers in the ring, not on screen. So,
you know. I also. I mean, I have to say this since we're talking about wrestling, but I loved Ric Flair as well. I mean, I love the heels, man. I know. Like, you can have the baby faces every day, but the heels. I mean, to be a good heel, Ric Flair was great. Oh man.
Oh yeah. I mean,
and you
like,
know,
that guy's iconic.
Like every sports person is like, you know, to be the man, you gotta beat the man. You know.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, and that's the thing. That's a guy that'll go down in history. He's legendary, and he's reached everybody. You know,
absolutely.
When you talk about Ric Flair, you know, and that's, you know, even to this day, you know, the stuff in the office is still, you know, the Macho Man, cream of the crop, buddy, cream of the crop.
Oh, buddy, how can you? Yeah. To me, that was one of the best matches ever. Was Ricky Steamboat, Macho Man Savage, WrestleMania 3, Intercontinental Championship. I was mesmerized. And I even watched that match not even that long ago. And I remember still watching it in still amazement because you don't see that kind of technical wrestling happening. Yeah. You know, and I mean, not to say that wrestling isn't great. It's just that I just find sometimes, it's like, you know, your story, I'm not buying it. And maybe it's just because there's no fans really to give it that pop, you know, but I still think The Rock would get a pop no matter what, though. You know, it's just it's personality.
You know, like it's different now these days. I find, you know, back in the '90s, you know, wrestling would come to town, and you know, if these guys came to town and people are going to check it out, you might actually have an opportunity to run into these guys walking around the city. You know,
buddy.
You know, I can't remember the last time someone actually told me a story about running into a wrestler somewhere, because I don't think those usually happen anymore. You know, I remember being downtown and running into, you know, you'd see Bret the Hitman Hart, The Undertaker, Kevin Nash, like running into these guys at the bar, and it was like, holy smokes, these guys are specimens.
You've ran into some very interesting people. Who was the other guy there from Hammond's Plains? Brett Marchand.
Oh, Brad. Yeah. Yeah, Boston Bruins finest. Yeah. I had an opportunity after he won his cup. I think he was making his way from the lower deck to the dome. Decided to play a beat on my hood, put in my car in celebration. It was like, Mr. Marchand, would you please get off my car? Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure tomorrow you're supposed to be in the Nail Day parade. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Do you remember Psycho Sid?
Yeah.
Sid Justice. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you remember he was like 6'10".
The big guy, the
beach blonde
curly hair.
Yeah. So there was a girl I was dating at the time, and she was at this hotel. I remember waiting in the hotel, and in comes, and it just so happened because it's a hotel that was close to the airport in Toronto, and it just so happened that old Psycho Sid walks in to get his room. The man was still in character, and he was coming in, and back then his gimmick was, you know, I am the master and the ruler of the universe, right? But he's screaming this in the main hall, you know, and I remember everybody's just like looking at this massive mountain of a man. And I just, you know, I was like, what, 20? And so I was like, I'm going to go talk to him. I remember I came up to his chest, and I was like, Mr. Vicious. Big fan. I saw Yokozuna walk in that day. I saw, buddy, it was amazing. Mr. Fuji. I mean, it blew my mind, right? Just to see all these guys. And Sid asked me to go party with him there, and I'm like, no, because I was waiting for my girlfriend. Yeah. So I didn't go party with Psycho Sid. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah, man, that was very similar to you know, the time that I met Kevin Nash. He was at it was the Palace, Jerry's Pub in Halifax, and he and another guy were walking through, and they were like, "How do we get to that bar next door?" So I told them how to get it, which door to go in, go check it out. It's definitely worth it. That's where the ladies are. And I mean, this guy's a mountain of a man, Kevin Nash. At the time, I think, you can see him walking through the crowd because everybody's pretty much like, if they're lucky, they're just over his waist. So he went over to the bar, came back. I don't know how he found me, but he was walking through. I just feel this hand on my shoulder. I turn around, and there he is. He's like, "Hey, man, thanks for the tip. That was a great bar, the great ladies." People were like, "Oh, my God. This guy's like 7 feet tall." And his shoulder is just a wingspan.
Right?
Like,
thank you, Mr. Nash.
Yeah. But these guys, they were still normal people, man, as much as they were in character and things like that. Like to see the Undertaker standing there at the bar, having a drink, saying hi to people, things like that. So I don't think you hear too many, not in Halifax anyway, we don't get the chance to throw too many stories around about people running into these guys downtown anymore.
No. Well, hopefully things open up and things start coming back to normal, I say. Yeah.
I think we're past our prime, so I don't think we'll be the ones downtown telling those stories. We'll just hear them.
We're old men now.
Yeah. We're just the guys up in the rafters talking about stats.
Oh my gosh. Hey, so we both said we're both Canadian military. I just wanted to give a big shout out to the HMCS Toronto right now. Hopefully everybody is safe, and miss you guys. Can't wait to see you guys come back.
Yes, man. Be safe, Toronto.
Yeah. Well, listen, buddy, thank you so much for taking some of that time on your school night, and I really hope you enjoy the rest of your week there, man. And I'd love to have you on again, and we could talk some more, because it was a great conversation, and it's also great just to talk some sports as well,
Of course.
Yeah.
Happy to talk sports, and I'm sure we'll get a chance to talk again, because some of these series that we're talking about will have finished, and we'll see how the predictions go.
Well,
the next time we talk.
If you jump into that, will be awesome. And if you jump into some NFL, maybe we could talk a little NFL there too.
Yep, we'll have to get on that too.
Yeah. What's your team? What's your team in the NFL?
I'm a Bears
your
fan.
Team. Bears fan? Okay, good.
Yeah.
You got a team that is right now messed up. I don't know, but it's like they're really messed up
for a long time. They've messed up for a long time.
Quarterback competition going on right now during the season. Awesome. Wow.
Yep, it'll be exciting to see them. I'm curious how this season's going to go. It'll be exciting. Not just for the Bears, but a little bit for. I think I'm curious, like everyone else, to see what's going to happen in Tampa, what's going to happen in New England.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, New England. I thought because honestly, I'm a Bills fan, so I thought, oh man, AFC East is wide open. Then they land Cam Newton, and I'm like, because if Cam's on his game, that's scary stuff. Scary stuff. So
yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen. I mean, New England. I can't get too deep into football because I don't know as much, but I think New England's a little bit handcuffed with the salary and having to sign Cam with like league minimum kind of thing. But it should be interesting. I guess the more interesting thing that I'm curious to see is where are all the fans going to go. Because if New England's not the powerhouse that they have been, is this going to be the season that you see a lot of Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans?
I haven't told you this yet. I did tell you that. I talked to Doug. You remember Dougie there?
Yep.
Over right now, working with me, right?
Yep.
So I so two things he did, which is hilarious because he's a huge Boston Bruins fan, huge New England Patriots fan, right? I think he's everything Boston. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, Boston gets eliminated. He pulls me into his office and he shows me, he goes, look. I've always been a Tampa Bay Lightning fan. He has this jersey just there. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And so then I'm there going, hey, man, because I told him back in November, I said, Tom Brady is not going to be a New England Patriot coming up this new year. And he's calling me all sorts of names and saying I'm a liar and all that.
Yeah.
And what happens? Tom Brady's not a New England Patriot. So all of a sudden I'm there telling him, I told you Tom Brady wasn't going to go, oh, no. I've always been a Tampa Bay fan. Always.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And I'm like, man, you are the worst band jumper I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah,
what? I love
exactly.
success.
That's it.
Yeah.
I only wear successful teams.
That's it.
Only.
Listen, man, I got a Browns jersey. I got a Bills jersey. I do have a Seahawks jersey because I was there. And I do have a Vikings jersey with Favre because I love Favre. But listen, man, only one is really, truly a championship because the Browns, no. But I'm thinking this year, maybe with the new coaching, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll have to see what happens.
That's it.
Yep, we'll definitely see what happens.
All right.
Right on, man.
Peace. Take it easy, Korey. Thank you so much.
All right, Sean. Take it easy, brother.
You've listened to the podcast, but now it's time to visit us in our virtual sports bar. Like us on Facebook at Guys.beer.sports podcast. Follow us on Instagram and subscribe to our YouTube channel at guys.beer.sports. When you do this, watch for live conversations with Brad and Sean that happen throughout the week, where you can join in with your favorite local beer. You can share your thoughts in the conversation comments, with your own uploaded videos, or as a guest live commentator. The GBS Virtual Sports Bar is open for business. Come on in, boys and girls.